A very good evening to all my dear parents and students. This video is basically being recorded to understand the blueprint for the 10th CBSE 22-23 examination for the subjects of mathematics, science, and social studies. Now, students and parents, this blueprint has been made in accordance to the sample papers which were released by the boards somewhere in the month of October and November 2022. So on those lines, the blueprint has been prepared, which you can go through for your preparation for your your forthcoming board examination. So basically, when it comes to the subject of mathematics, we all know the paper of mathematics is going to be an 80-mark paper. And for this 80 marks, we have the following chapters. The very first chapter, real numbers, the total weightage in terms of marks in the board examination is 5 marks. And for this 5 marks, what can you expect? You can expect 2 MCQs of 1 mark and 1 3-mark question. Similarly, when it comes to polynomials chapter, again the weightage is 5 marks, 2 MCQs and 1 3-mark question from this chapter. Going ahead, the next chapter over here is linear equation. The weightage for this particular chapter is 6 marks. And for this 6 marks, what can you expect in the board examination is 1 MCQ of 1 mark, 1 2-mark question and 1 3-mark question. That 3-mark question from linear equation will be having an internal choice. You will be having 2 questions out of which you need to make a choice of any one. But both the questions will be of linear equation. Going ahead towards the next chapter, quadratic equation, the weightage is 5 marks. And for this 5 marks, you will be having only one 5-mark question being asked with an internal choice between quadratic versus quadratic. So you need to make a choice of any one in this particular chapter. Going ahead towards the next chapter, arithmetic progression. The weightage of this particular chapter is 4 marks, and this 4 marks is completely for one case study from this chapter. Going ahead towards the next chapter, which is triangles. We can say this is the chapter which is having the maximum weightage in the board examination, having 10 marks. And this 10 marks is divided as 3 MCQs of 1 mark each, 1 2-mark question, 1 5-mark question. Going ahead towards the next one, which is coordinate geometry. The weightage for this coordinate geometry is 6 marks. And is 6 marks divided kiya gaya hai 2 MCQs of 1 mark each and 1 case study based question for 4 marks. The next chapter over here is trigonometry. Sir, just now you said ki triangles is having the maximum weightage. But yahan par trigonometry is having 12 marks. So trigonometry should be having the maximum weightage, right? Students, trigonometry over here is a combination of 2 chapters. Some basic applications of trigonometry and introduction to trigonometry. दोनों चैप्टर मिला के the weightage is 12 marks, whereas triangle अकेला 10 mark का weightage है. So put together both the trigonometries, the weightage is 12 marks. From trigonometries, you can expect 3 MCQs of 1 mark each. You will be having 1 2-mark question with an internal choice in it. You will be having 1 3-mark question and you will be having 1 case study based question. So 4 marks for case study, 3 mark ka ek question, so 4 plus 3 7. You will be having 1 2-mark question, 7 plus 2 9 and 3 MCQs. That gives you a total of 12 marks for this chapter. The next chapter over here is circles. The total weightage for this chapter is 6 marks. And for this 6 marks, you need to prepare 1 MCQ. You will be having 1 2-mark question and you will be having 1 3-mark question. The next chapter is areas related to circle. The weightage is 4 marks. For this 4 marks, you will be having 2 MCQs of 1 mark each and 1 2-mark question. The next chapter over here is surface area and volume. The weightage for this particular chapter is 6 marks and a very simple chapter because the entire chapter is formula based. So 6 mark ke liye, you will be having 1 MCQ and you will be having 1 5-mark question with an internal choice in it. The next one is statistics. The weightage for this chapter again is 7 marks, a very simple chapter. You can expect 2 MCQs and 1 5-mark question from this chapter. And the most simplest chapter in mathematics is probability. The weightage is 4 marks, from where you can get 1 MCQ and 1 3-mark question from this chapter. So in all, The paper is of 80 marks. For 80 marks, you'll be having 20 MCQs. The bifurcation of this 20 MCQs among the chapter is mentioned over here. You will be having 5 2-mark questions. The bifurcation is as follows. 1 2-mark question from linear equation, 1 from triangles, 1 from trigonometry, 1 from circles, 1 from areas related to circle. You will be having 6 3-mark questions. The bifurcation will be 1 from real numbers, 1 from polynomials, 1 from linear equation, 1 from trigonometry, and 1 from circles, and 1 from probability. Next one is the 5-mark questions. You'll be having 4 questions of 5 marks. The 4 questions of 5 mark will be 1 from quadratic equation, 1 from triangles, 1 from surface area volume, and 1 from statistics. And last but not the least, you'll be having 3 case studies from this in the entire mathematics paper. The 3 case studies will be from 1 from AP, that is arithmetic progression, 1 will be from coordinate geometry, and 1 will be from the chapter of trigonometry. So this was the overall understanding of the mathematics paper. Now, going on towards the next subject, which is the science subject. Science, again, an 80-mark paper divided into 4 parts: chemistry, biology, physics, and EVS. Let's start with the chemistry part. In chemistry, we have 4 chapters. One chapter, periodic classification of elements, has been omitted. The division of chemistry chapters are as follows. Chemical reaction and equation is for 6 marks. This 6 marks may say 3 will be MCQs of 1 mark each and 1 3-mark question. The next chapter is acids, bases, and salts. 3 marks ka weightage hai, and all 3 marks are for the 3 MCQs which will come from this chapter. The next chapter is the most important chapter of chemistry, that is metals and non-metals. The weightage of metals and non-metals is 10 mark, जहां से आप लोगों को एक MCQ, एक 2 मार्क का सवाल, एक 3 मार्क का सवाल और एक 4 मार्क का केस स्टडी आएगा. The next chapter is carbon and its compounds. The weightage is 6 marks, जिसमें से एक MCQ आएगा और एक 5 मार्क का brief आएगा. So this was the chemistry part of the science paper. Let's move further towards the biology part. Biology chapter begins with life processes. The weightage is 9 marks. For this 9 marks, you can expect 2 MCQs of 1 mark each, 2 very short questions, that is 2-mark questions. You can expect 1 3-mark question from this chapter. The next chapter is control and coordination. The weightage of this chapter is 3 marks. And for this 3 marks, you will be having 1 MCQ and 1 2-mark question. The next chapter over here is reproduction. That is, how do organisms reproduce? The most simplest chapter. Now for this chapter, the weightage is 6 marks. You will be having 1 MCQ and you'll be having 1 5-mark question being asked from this chapter. The next chapter is heredity and evolution. 7 marks का weightage है. 3 MCQ आएगा इस chapter में से and बचा हुआ 4 mark का एक case study आएगा इस chapter में से. Going further towards the physics section, and the most important chapter in the physics section is light, reflection, and refraction. The weightage is 10 marks. And for this 10 marks, you will be having 2 3 marks question and बचा हुआ 4 mark का एक case study आएगा इस chapter में से. Going further towards the next one, which is human eye and the colorful world. The weightage of this chapter is only 2 marks. And both these 2 marks is given to you for 1 2-mark question which will come from this chapter. The next chapter over here is electricity. The weightage of electricity chapter is 7 marks. 7 marks के electricity के लिए you can expect 2 MCQs and 1 5-mark का long question. The next chapter, which is very important over here, is magnetic effect of electric current. The total weightage is 6 marks. 3 MCQ आएगा इस chapter में से and 1 3-mark question will be asked from this chapter. And last but not least is an EVS chapter, very simple chapter, our environment. The weightage is 5 marks. And if for this 5 marks, you need to prepare 1 2-mark question and 1 3-mark question. So in all, for the 80-mark paper, we have 20 marks ka MCQ. The division of 20 mark ka MCQ is as in front of you. You will be having 6 2-mark questions. This 6 2-mark question will be 1 from metals and non-metals, 2 from life processes, 1 from control coordination, 1 from human eye and a colorful world, and 1 from our environment. You will be having 3 7-mark questions. I'm sorry, 7 3-mark questions. This 7 3-mark question will be one from chemical reaction equation, one from metals and non-metals, one from life processes, two from light reflection and refraction, one from magnetic effect of electric current, and one from our environment. You will be having three 5-mark question. One will be from carbon and its compounds, one will be from how do organisms reproduce, and one will be from electricity chapter. You will be having three case study based questions for 4 marks each. One will be from metals and non-metals, one will be from heredity and evolution, and one will be from light reflection and refraction. I hope the science blueprint is very clear with everyone. Going further towards the next one, which is social studies. Now, social studies may, since the chapters are the number of chapters are more, what we have done over here is we have bifurcated it into two parts, the history political science part and the geography economics part. History and political science out of the 80 mark paper will be for 40 marks and geography economics will be for the another 40 marks. Now, this 40 marks of history and political science will be further divided as 20 marks का history and 20 marks का pol science. अभी जो ये 20 marks का history है, उसके लिए 5 marks are for rise of nationalism in Europe. And ये पूरा 5 mark का आपको एक very long answer आएगा for 5 marks. The next chapter over here is nationalism in India. The weightage is 5 marks. Now, since it is nationalism in India and ये chapter में से map questions आते हैं, and we all know history का 2 question map का आता है, and ये दोनों question इसी chapter से आएंगे. तो 2 mark गया map के लिए, बचा 3 mark, और वो 3 mark का एक आपको question आएगा, 1 3-mark question. Going further towards the next chapter, which is making of global world, 3 marks is the weightage. You can expect 1 MCQ and 1 2-mark question from this chapter. The next chapter over here is the age of industrialization. The weightage is 4 marks. Expect 1 case study from this chapter. And history ka last chapter is print culture and the modern world. The weightage is 3 marks, and all these 3 marks you can expect 3 MCQs from this chapter. So this is the way the 20 marks ka history is divided. Going further towards the political science part, political science mein the very first chapter over here is power sharing. The weightage is 6 marks. And for this 6 marks, you'll be having 2 MCQ and 1 4 marks ka case study. The next chapter over here is federalism. 3 marks ka weightage hai, 1 MCQ for 1 mark and 1 2-mark question. The next chapter over here is gender, religion and caste. The weightage again is 3 marks, and all these 3 marks ka you can expect 3 MCQs. The next chapter over here is political parties. After power sharing, the next major chapter in terms of weightage in PS, political science. The weightage is 5 marks. And for this 5 marks, you can expect 1 brief answer of 5 marks. And the last chapter of political science is outcomes of democracy. The weightage is 3 marks. And for this 3 marks, expect 1 3-mark question. Going further towards the geography and economic section. ज्योग्राफी में यू हैव 7 चैप्टर्स, मार्क्स है 20, तो हो सकता है काफी से चैप्टर्स का वेटेज बहुत कम हो जाता है. Like for example, the very first chapter, which was very lengthy, resources and development, sums up to only 1 mark ka weightage. And for this 1 mark ka weightage, you will be having 1 MCQ. The next chapter over here is forest and wildlife resources. Again, the weightage is 1 mark. Expect 1 MCQ of 1 mark. The next chapter over here is water resources, a very important chapter when it comes to weightage, 5 marks. And for this 5 marks, expect 1 map question for 1 mark and 1 case study based question. The next chapter over here is agriculture. The weightage is 1 mark. Expect 1 MCQ from this chapter. The next chapter is mineral and energy resources. The weightage is 3 marks. For this 3 marks, expect 1 2-mark question and 1 map based question. The next one is the most important chapter of geography, having 6 marks ka weightage, manufacturing industry. Expect 1 long answer for 5 marks and 1 map question from here. So 5 plus 1, 6. The next one over here is lifelines of economy. The weightage is 3 marks. For this 3 marks, expect 1 3-mark question. So this was the geography part of the SST paper. Now moving on towards the last section, that is the economic section. Economics may you have 4 chapters. Consumer protection is for project work, hence it is not a part of the syllabus. We have only 4 chapters. The very first one is development. The weightage of development is 2 marks. Expect 2 MCQs of 1 mark each. The most important chapter in economics is sectors of the Indian economy. The weightage is 7 marks. Expect 2 MCQs of 1 mark each and 1 2-mark question plus 1 3-mark question. So 2 MCQs plus 1 2-mark question plus 1 3-mark question. In all, it gives you 7 marks. Going ahead toward the next chapter, money and credit. The weightage of this particular chapter is 6 marks. Expect 1 MCQ of 1 mark and 1 very long question that is for 5 marks. And last but not the least, it is the globalization and Indian economy. 5 mark का weightage है, 2 MCQ आएगा, 1 mark का और 1 3 mark का सवाल आएगा. So this was the entire blueprint of SST paper. And with this, we came to know the blueprint of all the 3 subjects, that is maths, science and SST. So students, I hope you have understood the material very well. I will be sending this link. I will be sending the PDF of the blueprint separately, which you can refer from your preparation point of view. Thank you so much and have a great day.